Honoring and commemorating America's fallen service members is something very near and dear to the heart of the VFW. And the American Battle Monuments Commission's work towards this mission is worthy of our admiration and support. Established by Congress and signed into law by President Warren Harding in 1923, the American Battle Monuments Commission commemorates the service, achievements, and sacrifice of U.S. Armed Forces. Today, ABMC administers, operates, and maintains 26 permanent American burial grounds on foreign soil, the final resting place for some 124,000 American veterans, and it maintains 31 federal memorials, monuments, and markers worldwide. ABMC cemetery superintendents and their assistants expertly ensure the grounds remain in pristine condition 365 days a year. The work and mission of the ABMC is truly honorable. Here with us today, representing ABMC's honorable and vital work, is the Commission's Secretary, retired Army Reserve Colonel Mr. Charles Djou, an Afghanistan War veteran with more than 20 years of service in the Army Reserve and a former U.S. representative from Hawaii's 1st Congressional District, who also served on the House Armed Services and Budget Committees. A man whose experience and dedication to the mission of honoring those who serve him, an excellent friend to the VFW. Please welcome retired Colonel Charles Djou.
Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me here on behalf of my staff and my boss, the Commander-in-Chief, President Joseph R. Biden. I really appreciate coming here to the VFW. I appreciate coming here not just as myself, as a veteran from Afghanistan, but appreciate coming here in that my service in the Army had sent me to get my strategic broadening certificate from the University of Louisville. So it is a nice little bit of a homecoming for me to join you all here today. During my few minutes with all of you, I thought I'd like to share with all of you a little bit about my agency, the ABMC, the American Battle Monuments Commission. I want to share with you about who we are, what we do, and why we do it. And the Commander already shared with you a little bit about our background. We're an agency that's 101 years old. We run 26 of America's military cemeteries and 31 of America's battlefield memorials spread across 17 countries around the world. But I think what's more important than who we are is what we do and why we do it. The United States, our people, and who we are. When we send our young, when we send our brave, when we send our nation's finest to go across to distant lands and to fight, we Americans are a little bit different. You see, unlike any other people, unlike any other country, the United States, we do not fight for a king or a crown. We do not fight for a sect or denomination. We do not fight for a motherland or a fatherland, and we Americans most certainly never, ever fight for conquest or plunder or enslavement of another people. No. Instead, we Americans, when we send our young, when we send our brave, when we send our finest, and we send them to fight, and yes, sometimes make the ultimate sacrifice, we fight for simple, humble values. The values of freedom, liberty, and democracy. And unlike any other nation in this world, unlike any other peoples in the history of mankind, we Americans do something utterly unique. When the mission is accomplished, when the job is done, when we Americans have taken down the tyrant and stood up democracy, we go home. All that America asks for in exchange for the service and sacrifice, yes, ultimate sacrifice of our young and our brave, are a few small plots of land to bury our dead. My agency, the American Battle Mines Commission, we are responsible for maintaining and managing those few small plots of land. And so I say to all of you here in the VFW, please come and see your American military cemeteries. Please come and see your American battlefield memorials. You know, for me, as the agency secretary and leading the ABMC, one of my most frustrating experiences is every year, year after year, I see millions of Americans coming to Paris to go see the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre Museum. I see millions of Americans going to Rome to go see the Colosseum. Millions of Americans going to visit Florence to see Michelangelo's David. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against tourism. After all, you do not get elected to become a member of Congress from the state of Hawaii without being pro-tourism. I support tourism, but one of the things that disappoints me is all those millions of Americans who travel abroad to go visit the Eiffel Tower in Paris or the Colosseum in Rome or see David in Florence, oftentimes don't realize that the reason you can go see the Eiffel Tower, the reason you can go see the Colosseum in Rome, the reason you can still see Michelangelo's David in Florence is because of the sacrifice of those tens of thousands of Americans who gave their lives to make sure the dark shadow of tyranny and fascism that had spread through this land was yanked back, and the light of freedom can be seen in all of those lands. And so that's why I say to each and every one of you, please come. Should you find yourself in France, please come. Come and see Pointe du Hoc. Come and see the location where the United States Army Rangers volunteered to scale those sheer vertical cliffs to silence the Nazi guns raining down on Omaha Beach and Utah Beach. Volunteered knowing that the United States had no exfil plan for them, knowing that they would either succeed in their mission or die trying. I say to you, come, should you find yourself in Great Britain. Come to the Cambridge American Cemetery, the resting place of nearly 10,000 American service members, both in our plots and our walls of the missing. A location which America memorializes, particularly for all those airmen who leapt to the skies from Great Britain to take the war to Hitler's doorstep. And yes, tens of thousands of them never came home, literally blown out of the sky. I say to you, come to the Manila American Cemetery, the largest American cemetery located outside of the United States, where nearly 15,000 American service members rest in their plots and nearly 36,000 Americans are noted on our walls of the missing. And it is at this location where those American Marines who consecrated those lands that we now remember as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Saipan, Guam, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa rest as their final home, where those thousands of American Navy sailors who sailed across the Pacific to push back Imperial Japan and went to their watery graves never to be found again are memorialized and remembered on those walls at your American cemetery in the Philippines. Please, find it in yourself. If you have not already visited, make it a point sometime in your lifetime to visit one of these 26 American cemeteries or 31 American memorials that my agency humbly and honorably manages. And if you can't come and visit us on our website at abmc.org. And I leave you all with why it is that our agency does what we do. You know, members of the VFW, I know, I get it. I know that for so many of us, when we look around our nation today, we can be a little bit disappointed. I know when we see what happens on American social media and see some of the banality that goes on all of these websites. I know that when we look at our government sometimes over in Washington, D.C., all you see and all you hear is shouting and division and hyper-partisanship. My agency is here to tell you that we Americans, we still have it. We still got it. And for all the division, for all the banality that you may see happening in America today, we serve as a reminder to all Americans, to this world, that America still has something special within our soul. And we maintain these sites around the world not just to honor the history, not just to honor these service members, although we do that, and that is important. We also maintain these sites so we can remind America, so we can remind the world about what the true cost of liberty is and what the real price of war is. And we serve as a reminder to all authoritarian dictators today who wish to do ill to America and our people, that is a price we have paid before and we will willingly pay again to ensure the success of freedom. Yeah. Because friends, we know, I know, and we will make sure the world always knows and remembers that the world's most powerful weapon system is not a T-72 tank manned by mercenaries crusading across the plains of Ukraine. It is not a Fujian aircraft carrier patrolling artificial man-made islands in the South China Sea. It is not a terrorist who kills and slaughters innocents in the name of a wicked ideology. No. The world's most powerful weapon system was, is, and shall forever be a free people willing to fight for freedom. That is who we are, that is what we do, and that's why I am here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me here. May God bless each and every one of you, the veterans of foreign wars, and the United States of America. Thank you.